Ladies and gentlemen, since this entire thing happened in East Palestine, Ohio, I watched some of their town hall meetings, and it is painfully obvious that Norfolk Southern don't want to give the citizens there not one red cent. They want to attempt to clean the place up and leave. They don't want to do anything more than that. And you can tell every time the topic of compensation comes up for the citizens, they do everything to avoid it. So, Ohio sues Norfolk Southern over the train derailment in East Palestine. Yeah, because they don't want to give up a dime to the people that live there. And I think they realize that now. So, Ohio has filed a lawsuit against Railroad Norfolk Southern to make sure it pays for the cleanup and environmental damage caused by a fiery train derailment in Ohio. This was out actually bordering Pennsylvania as well. That's why people over in Pennsylvania were showing symptoms too. Last month, the state attorney general said Tuesday the federal lawsuit also seeks to force the company to pay for the groundwater, soil monitoring in the years ahead, economic losses in the village of East Palestine and surrounding areas. The Ohio Attorney General Dave Yost, this is what he said. The fallout from the highly preventable accident is going to reverberate throughout Ohio for many years to come. So no one was physically hurt, but the physical harm is showing up on people there. So, but half of roughly 5,000 residents of East Palestine had to evacuate for days when responders intentionally burnt toxic chemicals in some of the derailed cars to prevent an uncontrolled explosion, leading residents with lingering health concerns. Government officials say testing over the past month haven't found dangerous levels of chemicals in the air or water in the area. Maybe you need to use different testing devices. It's no way it's not in the water and not in the air and not in the soil and not in people's houses. Okay, something is wrong with your testing. So the rail has promised more than $20 million so far to help the community of Ohio recover while announcing several voluntary safety upgrades. Ohio's Attorney General indicates the cleanup cost will be high. Norfolk Southern said Tuesday in a response to a lawsuit that it was listening to concerns from the community and planning to take additional steps to deal with some of those. The railroad is working on creating long-term medical compensation fund, a way to provide protection for home sellers of their property losses value because of the derailment and improving drinking water protections. It said in a statement. I mean, I would never trust these people. So the same people that caused all the problems are going to fix everything. I just don't believe them. The lawsuit also asked the railroad to reimburse first responders and state agencies for the cost of dealing with the disaster. How much money is the state seeking isn't known yet because the response is ongoing, but Yost made it clear the cost will be enormous. This was an epic disaster. The cleanup is going to be, expensive. So this is what he said. Ohio officials met with Norfolk Southern representatives on Monday to talk about several possible ways to help the people in East Palestine, including enhancing the village water treatment operations, Yost said. The state attorney general said he was pleased with the railroad, has indicated it wants to do the right thing, and that the lawsuit will make sure it keeps its promise. Many in East Palestine remain outraged at the railroad. and worry about what will become of the village. Those fears include concerns about their long term health, their house value, and economic future for local businesses. Yeah, well, you might have those concerns, but you also have the option of getting out of there. You don't have to sit there sick and falling apart. You can get out of there. So, really, that's up to you at the end of the day. But do I think compensation is due? Yes. Yes. Not only there, but all the surrounding towns that were also impacted, as well as the people that bordered Ohio and Pennsylvania. People within a certain radius of that train derailment should all be compensated. So I don't know what's coming, but they're even talking about criminal charges against Norfolk Southern. But we shall see what happens if it's going to go any further. I have a feeling it will. If Ohio filed this lawsuit, don't be surprised if Pennsylvania follows, being that many of the people there were impacted as well. So I know East Palestine is getting all the shine, but that air went everywhere. It went everywhere. In fact, I saw reports that it went into Canada as well. So it went clear across the country and spread out everywhere. And there's a lot of people still having respiratory problems, folks there complaining about rashes and sickness and everything. So, you know, at a certain point, you're going to have to figure out what to do. You can't sit and just wait for the government. But look who's depending on the government and not taking the bull by the horn, you know. But many of them are going to sit there and wait for this government to take care of them. That thing that they claim they never do. Well, that's exactly what they're doing in this instance. They're waiting. That's why they're still sitting there and whining about being sick. But the bottom line is, if you're about self and you're not depending on the government, then you need to make some tough choices. And one of those choices may be that East Palestine may not be a livable place anymore. You may have to permanently get out of there and just leave those houses empty. I don't know who you're going to sell them to. I mean, who is beating down the door to move to East Palestine at this point? So I don't know how they're going to get rid of those homes to anyone, even if they put it on the market. I doubt if anybody is going to go even to walk through those houses at this point without a fear of possibly getting sick. So they have to make decisions for themselves. But I guess if you want to sit around and wait for the government, then keep sitting there sick then. But y'all, please tell me what you think about this story. I'm not surprised. I knew the lawsuits were coming. It was just a matter of time, and it's coming. And like I said, I'm waiting for the Pennsylvania governor to do the same thing. But please tell me what you think about this story. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.